And we are recording. So this is the Kubernetes SIG Network meeting for today, March 21st, 2019. I think we're going to kick it off with round 2 of bug triage. So I think I'll hand it over to you, Tim.
Awesome. Let me share screen.
So I looked through all of the bugs, Tim, or not all of them. I mean, I did a pass through all the bugs that I could find, and it seemed like you had tagged all of them already. Is that the case, or had you only gone through a subset of things?
So can you guys see my screen? Yes, no?
Yes.
Okay. I went through all bugs that were SIG Network, and I attached the triage unresolved label, which for now is an indicator that we have not looked at it. SIG Contrib-X has got a proposal to actually auto-label every new incoming issue with a new label so that we don't have to have this race condition. So what I did today is I looked at all SIG Network tagged issues that were newer than the ones we looked at last time, and then anything that is also tagged unresolved. And then I loaded a bunch of them up in my tabs, and we'll do like last time. I guess we'll see how many we can get through. I actually took a 20 or 30 minutes today to pass through a few of them, commented on a couple, closed a couple. The good news is we got a bunch of them from last week done. The bad news is we have net more this week than we did last week. So hopefully we can sign up for these. Thank you for all the people who volunteered last time. And hopefully we can get more volunteers this time too. And hopefully the volunteering process, the triage process isn't so painful that we can get a lot of people volunteering for this. So let's jump in and shoot for 30 seconds per issue. Last time we hit about 45 seconds per issue. So again, I'm looking for volunteers to do the triage. Is this a real issue, reproduce it, or address it, or close it, or ask for more information, whatever people need to do. So I can't get rid of the stuff on my screen, can I? But you guys can't see that, only I can.
This is definitely, I need more information.
Yes, I have no idea what this one's about. I mean, to be fair, I looked at it. It looks like they have two IP addresses on their ETH0, and it's available by one and not available by another. I don't really know why, if it's supposed to be listening to 0. So I guess this is a case of somebody should try to reproduce it or get more information to understand it. Any volunteers?
Sure, put me on that one.
I'll assign you as I can. All right. And if you are done with it, you can close it. If you think it's a real bug, this is for all volunteers. If you think it's a real issue, just either remove the unresolved label or flag me down and I'll remove the label if you don't have access to, and try to add the /kind and /priority labels so that we can get a sense of whether it's a bug or a feature request, and whether it's like on fire urgent or just let's do it eventually. And if anybody doesn't have access to use the / commands for the bot, just let me know and I will do it for you. I don't have a problem with that. Hinfo, this is another UDP core DNS related one. I pinged Francois on it today. Is this the same one we looked at twice last session?
Yes, but each time it's a network issue, and if you've refreshed, we replied already. It's a network issue here. This guy he already opened the ticket on core DNS, and it's nothing to do with core DNS. So I don't know if it's support to help to set up the network. Or...
so if this is just a support request, then I'm going to go ahead and close it. Any objections?
I'm not sure it's a support. I mean, it describes something, but I'm not sure it's support or how do we do that?
Well, it's not a systemic problem, right?
It's not a bug, right?
No, it's not. Well, it's not a bug for you from our side, but I don't know. He has a network not working on his system.
So you're saying it could be an underlying issue with his...
Yeah, that I don't know, yes. So he has
okay.
or something, I don't know.
There's no evidence that it's a Kubernetes networking issue. It's just a
this is a user networking setup issue. So we should probably close this then, and we're not doing general network support here.
Okay.
I'm happy to, like, they can keep the conversation going after it's closed, but it's not a bug, so I don't want to see it in the bug list. Flaky tests, these are the best. I haven't looked at these tests. It may simply be a case of, like, our timeout is too short. Does anybody have, this is a bigger one to ask people to sign up for. Anybody has bandwidth to spend time looking at a flaky test?
Which test is it?
Master upgrade, it's the load balancer, firewall rules for load balancer type.
Zihong has been looking at that. You might be able to dupe it to the other one.
Okay. Can I just assign it to Zihong?
Yeah.
Since he's not here?
Of course. Speaking for him.
That's what you get for not showing up, Zihong.
But I think he's looking at, there was another one file for that one.
Awesome. This one is restarting IP tables cube proxy or causes connections to fail. So, Andrew, I don't know if you're here.
Yep.
Filed a PR actually to fix this, but the PR is kind of fiddly, in my opinion. I would rather that we just get rid of the cleanup support entirely and just say, look, switching modes on a kube proxy from IP tables to IPVS without rebooting the node is just a mess. And like, we were trying to do the right thing here when we were switching from user space to IP tables and back. But honestly, I think it's gotten out of hand, and I think we should just abandon ship on that idea.
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
So given that, and given that 114's almost out of code freeze already, it's probably too late to put that into 114. Probably. I mean, maybe we can make a justification for it. The question is this bug okay to just let it sit for another two months?
Well, there's no code. You don't have to put a code change in. It's a documentation change, right?
No, this happens on every time the kube proxy restarts. It says, I'm going to go delete all the IPVS stuff, which overlaps
so
with, right? So it ends up nuking all of its own routes while it then rebuilds its own routes.
I thought you were just saying.
No, it's unfortunately stupid. And so the question is, do we try to position this as a bug and just backport the no cleanup behavior to 114? I'm actually sort of leaning towards that.
I think that makes the most sense. It would be really hard to jam something in right now.
So, Andrew, do you want to try to do that PR? It's actually an easier PR than the one you did.
Sorry, I think I lost you there. So, what are you saying that we're backporting?
I was saying if we actually wrote the PR to turn off the auto cleanup on startup,
Gotcha.
Basically only do cleanup if the user specifies -- cleanup.
Okay, isn't that there's a separate issue I opened for that?
Yeah,
and you wanted a kept for that. You still want?
Yeah, I think the microest of microcaps is probably reasonable, just because it is sort of a behavioral change. But I can't believe it's going to actually impact anybody in a negative way, and it is clearly a bug.
Okay.
So I think we can make it into 114.1 or something. With
Does
the
cleanup itself work?
The cleanup does work.
It's just disruptive.
But they overlap with each other. And so actually for us to make it work properly, we have to do sort of the disjunction of the cleanup operations between the different modes,
right?
Which doesn't seem reasonable to do, right? I think we should just give up on it. So I'm willing to argue that this is actually a bug and that fixing the bug is by disabling the cleanup functionality altogether.
Yeah, it works for me.
Okay, rock and roll. So I'm going to leave this as, I'm going to remove the unresolved. It's a legit bug, and it's already got your name on it. Kube proxy IPVS mode with external IP resulting in disconnected workers with itself loopback. Wow. Okay, so somebody needs to try to reproduce or understand this. Volunteers, especially anybody who's got IPVS running.
It's maybe related to the IPVS captures the VIP traffic for on the node as well, I think.
Hmm.
So it might be related to that.
Volunteers? We'll tag IPVS team. Anybody else wants to try to take a look at this? Last chance. This looks like a good one. Okay. If we have to, we'll come back to it next week. The triage will continue until the bug list gets better. Connect to validate service timeout. Oh, this is, so I read this one. It's something about a webhook, and they're not able to access the webhook. My guess is this is probably a network setup problem again. There's not enough information here. Can somebody volunteer to extract a little bit more information, like what cloud are they running in, what network is it, how did they set up the network, et cetera, and maybe point them at the general network debugging docs that we've got?
I could do it.
You think that way? What's your GitHub?
ANPR. Yeah.
Okay. Kube proxy related DNS errors. Well, they said the bug in the first sentence. Sorry. We're recorded, aren't we?
Oh, it's EKS. It's not reproducible.
Kube proxy does have the capability of a liveness probe, though. So.
But it looks like they have a PR. If you look down, they have a PR. No?
Is there a PR? Oh, okay. Cool. Anybody wants to take a look at this and review it? Otherwise, I'll just throw it in my own queue.
I mean, I can take a look, actually, if you want to send it to me.
PR?
Yeah. This is for the daemon set?
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You get the issue that goes with it, too. Next, DNS resolution fails occasionally. Somebody stop me when we hit a half hour, too. DNS resolution fails occasionally after upgrade to core DNS.
Yeah. So Chris is already replying on this one. So I don't know, it takes time. I don't know why you flagged it, but Chris.
I didn't realize, I guess. Okay.
Chris, however, OH, yes.
If it's a real bug, remove the, oh, there's no, yeah, if there's a real bug, remove the unresolved, and if not,
okay.
Windows, code user Windows. Does anybody have context on this one?
Yeah, I do. Sure. So this is a longer running thread. So basically, like there's this one repo out on, like it's referenced there, Microsoft SDN. It's got some binaries published there basically that doesn't have, like it's basically like they don't want binaries published on that SDN repo, but they want the binaries published on a container networking plugins repo. So it's more a CNI plugins discussion, I would say.
Okay.
Rather than a bug per se. So we should discuss this in like CNI plugin meetings rather than SIG Network, I think.
Okay. Do you want to add an item to the CNI agenda for that, David?
Yeah, sure.
And we'll just move it over there. Okay.
Yeah, we briefly talked about it, but yeah, it's basically, we're just hoping to release the Windows CNI plugins as part of the next like CNI plugins release.
Okay.
Like
sure.
The updated source code. That's all.
So I'll leave it open and you guys can close it when you feel like it's moved.
All right. Sounds good.
Okay.
Can you tag me and David on that one?
David who?
I'm
Shot.
already tagged there. But
Yeah, David's already there.
All right, cool.
All right. Roll ingress controller API from beta to version 1. Yes. This is a dupe with whatever Jordan's bug, right?
Yes.
You don't have to, can you dig up, can I assign this one to you, Bowie?
Yeah.
And you can dupe it to that one?
Roll. Moved out of beta. Well, okay. We can't fix this one.
What?
It just like it's not really a bug. It's like a feature. But anyways, you can sign it to me. We'll do it with the other one.
Okay.
Yeah, that's part of a way bigger conversation.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's good that other.
Can we just point them at the cap that we made for that?
Yeah, I think that's
Close
the
that.
it was just to point them at that and say this is in progress.
Yeah.
Kube proxy URL. Yes, this was mine.
You assigned it to me.
I assigned it to you. I don't know why. Oh,
Yeah.
remove unresolved.
Yes,
It's a legit feature request.
Yes.
Notify route controller to reconcile immediately when node event happens. Anybody have context on this?
Looks like Ian.
Yeah, there's a PR open for that. Essentially, right now, like route controller does a full resync and it doesn't actually act on any node events. But then the route sync is also really expensive, and so there's discussion on how to do the route sync on a node event without making the controller do too many API calls.
Okay, you're on this one?
Yep.
Okay, I'm going to remove the unresolved then. Sounds like a legitimate feature. Kubectl port forward, broken pipe. Port forward is not us, despite having ports. Is it API machinery or CLI? Sorry, you got CLI. Cool. Containers failing to resolve public DNS. Well, we triaged this one last week.
Yep.
And we got no follow-up information. Let's give it one more cycle if we don't have anything else. If we don't get any feedback in the next 2 weeks, we'll close it. External traffic costs. Did we triage this one last time? I forget.
I'm pretty sure we did. I remember that diagram.
Yeah, I did too. Must have just caught it up in my sweep. Yes, this is. Oh no, this actually needs to be reproduced and understood, and we assigned it to Zihong. Four more minutes. Support routing based on request method and changing ingress. I feel like we looked at this one too. Yes, this is a feature request to ingress.
It's already assigned to me, by the way.
Oh, it is? All right.
Yes.
All right. Your job is to decide whether we're going to legitimately consider this or not.
Yep.
I have a feeling. SIG network service endpoints latency should not be ready. We triage this one. This is basically done. Okay.
Sounds like there's a PR.
Yeah. Okay. I'll assign myself to look at the backports. Great sandbox fails intermittently.
I think you guys did this last time and assigned it to me. And oh, looks like there was a response 6 hours ago, so I should check that out.
Okay. Service networking with manifest. You assign someone this one? No. Oh, I assigned it to myself. Huh. Okay. It pops into my mailbox. Entering map and ingress. I feel like we looked at this one too. That's also me. proxy metrics. I assigned this one to Bowie. Haven't looked
Yes.
at. Okay.
Yes.
Choosing type of IP when using downward API.
Oh,
We got
IPv6 versus 4.
a new one. So this is this node IP has different
External.
classes of IP. So there's some design work here. Okay, this looks like it's an actual feature request. Whoops. Creating selectors is expensive in endpoints controller. Okay, I know Minhan spent some time looking at service controller.
Assigned to me. I know exactly. Could this be a good first issue or not?
Is this, Minhan, do you know if this is approachable? Like, could somebody else, thank you for asking that, Bowie. Is this the sort of thing that somebody from community could step up to do, or do you actually need sort of deep knowledge to tackle this one?
I think someone can do it. Mostly converting it to in-memory.
Okay.
Instead of recreating it every time for every pod update. Yeah. I think.
All right. That's a great point. We should actually be evaluating that for every issue. Oops. Should remove the.
It's probably like
That's not
a
what I wanted to
blue
do.
square issue, not a black diamond.
Oh,
Not a green
press the
circle.
wrong
though.
button. Time for
So-
one more?
We can do one more. We're at the half-hour point.
Last one. Cannot access service from within a pod. Oh, I've never seen a bug like that before.
EQ. Minikube.
Minikube.
Proxy is not running.
Minikube on Mac.
Any volunteers? Someone who's got Minikube maybe to speak directly to it? I don't have Minikube installed.
Well, actually, it looks like they're looking at the core DNS logs there, and it doesn't have
API server access.
API.
Yeah.
So maybe Francois, could you or Cindy or Chris take a look at that?
Yeah, I can assign to me. I will manage. Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much. We will resume from here next time.
Tim,
Yes.
until Contribex gets the auto triage label sorted, do you want me to just start jamming that on new network tickets?
Yes, if you see new network tickets that are marked unresolved, or that are newer than 75502, which is where I started today, then you can apply unresolved, or I'll just do it again in getting ready for this in 2 weeks. So it's not super urgent because at least I have the milestone marker.
I've been running a bot over unsorted stuff, so I'll just add that to inbound network tickets.
Well, in that case, great, thank you.
There is the project panels, but it's a little fiddly. I don't know if you saw that.
I need to go and learn how to use the project boards.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, this works. We're just chipping away at it. And as usual, if anybody has 10 free minutes during the week, pop up this list and scroll through. I was able to look at and address a couple of issues just by responding or closing them before this meeting. Thanks.
Thanks, everybody. Next up, discussion of network tests through performance, which are failing on Windows. Yep.
Right. So there's a open issue right now, which is trying to promote 5 networking tests to conformance. Let me post that here in the chat. So I wanted to discuss promoting these tests to conformance under consideration of Windows support. But before I get to that, I wanted to ask, is like SIG Network the authority that decides promoting network tests to conformance? Or is that another SIG? Is it a joint effort, or how does that work?
Well, that's a great question. So I think that there is a conformance working group and conformance as part of SIG Arch, but certainly that's the approval process for the tests. At the end, somebody has from that group has to approve the conformance tests. But obviously, subject matter experts are their advice is taken very seriously. So it becomes a joint thing in that sense. I don't know if that answers your question, but
yeah, that helps.
So I'd be happy to take this offline with you and take a look at it. I'm going to be working on conformance quite a bit. What were the specific issues? They don't run on Windows, is that?
Yeah, sure. So there's like two categories here of these, like two categories to group these 5 networking tests under, I'd say. So the first 2 tests in that issue that I linked are like testing partially qualified domain resolution, and that will definitely not pass on Windows without like changing the platform. We've discussed this previously, and I think
we intentionally moved that out of conformance at one point.
Yeah, we took it like out of conformance 1 or 2 months ago, and now this is trying to add it back in. Okay, so yeah, that's the first category. The second category is like the remaining free tests. For those, it's again related to DNS resolution, and for those we were originally adding Windows-specific tests, where we took out like assertions that rely on etc hosts or etc resolve conf file just to make them pass. I'll post that in here. That's like where we were working, the issue where we were working on equivalent tests for Windows only. That being said, there should be a way to make these tests pass on Windows as they are with CRY containerd support. But for right now, at least, that runtime is still really new to Windows, so it might take a while until we're there. So yeah, I wanted to just discuss whether we should be promoting these tests to conformance, and if we do, whether we can add a Linux-only tag for now so that these tests aren't part of like the Windows conformance profile.
So in fact, conformance is really only for non-optional features. Windows is an optional feature anyway, but it would be nice to have them passing. Yeah, I'll take that. I'll take that and discuss it with some folks in the conformance area and see what we can do on that.
Okay, sounds great. Thank you.
Yeah.
Next, we've got network proxy. Discussion of a cap.
Yeah, that's Warren and me. So basically, the goal of this cap is to remove S tunnel from the Kube API server code base and to replace it with an abstraction to connect to the nodes and pods in a more complex network environment. So we're going to replace it with a generic proxy service defined by gRPC, and the implementation we intentionally leave it open because it could be just a simple SSH tunnel right now, or it could be nothing when you run your master and worker node in the same network. And it's really up to the implementation and cloud provider to implement it. And the benefit is basically one, to make an API server simpler. It really doesn't make sense to put an SSH tunnel inside of API server. And 2, it's kind of helpful to address some security concerns around kubectl proxy, and it's also helpful for auditing. And the cap is kind of multi across SIG. So I think Warren presented last week in the SIG API machinery, and we already get a lot of good comments and feedbacks, and we really appreciated that. And we hope that anyone who's interested in this in SIG Network can take a look, especially those who are running API server master and worker nodes in different networks or via unreliable, untrusted network. You can take a look, and hopefully we can get more feedback and move this forward. Thanks.
Anybody questions about that? This has been brewing for a long time. Okay. I haven't read the KEP yet, but it's in my mailbox and starred, so.
Can take a look. I know Paul is reviewing that.
Great.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, and then we've got just one more thing on the agenda, which is KubeCon Barcelona.
Yeah, I wanted to, now that we're at the 2-month mark, make sure that we have people assigned to who's doing the intro and deep dive session, and think about having some kind of like meetup or bug jam or something. Well, a lot of us are in the same room.
So I was going to reply. This is Bowie. I was going to reply. I'm going to be there. Tim, you're going to be there.
I'll be there.
I'll be
I'll
there.
be there.
So we actually have a good population of people.
Yeah, this is gonna be great. It'll be fun. This is gonna be, you know, several thousand of our best friends there too. I think getting a get together would be awesome, whether it's social or working or both. But yes, we got approved for what, the 85-minute session? Is that how long it is?
Something, it was 80, 85, something like that, yeah.
Yeah, so basically an hour and a half. So we'll have to start prepping it. I haven't even started to think about what material we want to present there, but it's probably a good time to start doing that.
I'd be happy to pair with someone, but I definitely couldn't carry that.
What is the format? Is it a presentation or is it? Because I remember last KubeCon there was a session where you just sat down at a table and there's like a bunch of people. That's different.
That was at the contributors
Yes.
summit, right?
Yeah.
Right. This is a real thing.
There'll be like 1,500 people.
Yeah, probably. It'll probably be a big session.
Yeah, so it's an 80-minute session, and it's intended to be split into 2 parts. There's an intro, which is focused on introducing newer casual users to SIG Network. And then the second half is a deep dive for existing contributors, maintainers, and other attendees with pre-existing familiarity.
Probably just circulate a list of what we think the topics should be. And then,
Well, I think we need a volunteer to put together like an outline, and then we can review the outline. So if Valerie's volunteering, we'll happily help. If we want to do, maybe we'll do a separate Zoom meeting like next week or something, maybe this time next week or something, with a smaller group of people to just throw together an outline. Does that sound fair?
Sure, I'm up for that.
John's in. All right, we've got 3. You want to do one more person, one more volunteer?
Okay, I guess I'm in. So is making like the basic outline my action item?
Let's. If
or
you
should
wanna,
I wait?
If you want to start, that's fantastic. Otherwise, we can just have a group session, and then we can start putting the outline together there, and you can carry it forward from there.
Okay, I'll probably just think about it before next session then.
Okay, cool.
yeah, keep me in the loop as well.
Okay. All right.
Awesome. I won't be there, but usually we do kind of like an informal get together. So, but that can be kind of figured out as we get a little bit closer.
Okay.
Anything else? We've got a little bit early, 20 minutes early. So either we can call it short or do some more triage.
Triage.
Oh man, I closed my my session. Hold on, I'm throwing a calendar entry on. Sorry, I'll invite you guys to the calendar in a minute. I just wanted to put it on my calendar before I forgot. Let me see if I can pull this back up. And share screen. All right. I love me some triage. So we did this one, right? No, access service from the pod.
Yes.
Okay, yes. All right. 1.11.7, missing this commit. An access node port from outside the cluster when kubeproxy is an IPS. This is just a request for a backport.
Kind of looks like it. How far back do we support?
3 releases.
Oh,
So,
okay, so this is still valid.
A little bit longer than
that's a pocket veto. Can somebody, I need a volunteer to look at this commit, figure out which PR it was actually in, and see if it was that cherry picked, and if not, why not? And if
when did IPVS go GA?
11 probably.
Oh, okay.
11.
All right.
Either 11.
I was hoping it was 12, and then we could close this, but I guess not.
I think it was 11. So the volunteering I'm asking for is figure out if it makes sense to backport this. Right, dudes? Thank you. Conformance coverage for networking, tracking issue. Is this one of the conformance people? I don't know the name.
Srini, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So does this need triage, or is this just a...
I mean, it's a tracking issue. You can assign it to me if you want. It doesn't. I don't.
All right. I don't have to assign issues. I just want to make sure if it's triage. Need Windows DNS configuration tests. I don't think this needs triage. I think it is in fact true. We need Windows DNS configuration tests. Looks like there's a lot of issues on here. Milestone. Okay, cool. Master node on cluster reports having several IP addresses. Kubeatom and WeaveNet. There's a lot of information here, and it's well formatted.
Looks like it has several IP.
Can I get a volunteer to take a look at this? Somebody said flannel, somebody said weave, so it may not be weave specific.
You can send this one my way.
Might also be a cloud provider thing, or are they doing locally?
Unclear. Casey will figure it out.
All right.
Proxy IPVS updates are slow and seem to be affected by node load.
This sounds expected.
Well, at least the second part does.
Yes.
Taking a very long time does not seem helpful.
Well, how long is a long time here?
20
seconds. Average of 20 seconds.
4,000 service endpoints.
4,000 is not that big, and
No,
20
it's not.
pretty big. Like IPVS was in part valuable because it gets rid of the 20-second IP tables hangs. Anybody else here who's got IPVS?
Discussion on SIG Network Slack. Too many addresses. Interesting.
Anybody? Anybody wants to look at this? Anybody? Come on, folks.
I can take this one. It's Andrew.
Andrew. Where are you? There you are. I appreciate the volunteerism. I'd like to see more of it, and not from the same people.
Cobra? What? Oh.
I made that ticket a while ago when I was just reading through the to-do comments in kubeproxy.
Yep. So Lucas and some others are working on this component base thing, which is a wrapper for a whole bunch of the libraries that all of our command lines end up using, including flags and logs and other stuff. So I think the real answer is to adopt component base when component base is ready. So maybe the real answer is just to remove the to-do. PR is welcome.
Sure.
Okay.
Is that Cobra is component based?
Yes.
I see.
Component base includes Cobra and everything else. IPv4, IPv6 mix, crashes, cube mark drop, no such file or directory. Yeah, having mixed resource. more or less, we don't support mixed mode right now. Okay, so there's a bug. It should be logging rather than crashing. Dan addressed it, so I will mark it as triaged, and it is in fact a bug. This seems like a good first issue. Endpoints API object could not support a large number of endpoints. Oh, I know this bug. This does not need triage. This is in fact true. And Minhan hopefully will have a proposal for us soon. Node port service cannot be accessed outside the cluster. Is this the same one? Is this the dupe with the one we saw earlier?
Yes, that's what I was.
This is
mentioning.
Zihan?
Yeah.
Nice. Q proxy and IPv6 only cluster by IPv4 and IPv6 addresses. Yes.
This one seems like good first issue if that's really what it's doing.
Interesting. I'm not even, what's the programmatic answer for this? Is there a way to tell listen to only do v6?
You enumerate the interfaces, find the addresses, and listen on each one successively.
Don't tell me that. That's horrible. Okay, well, it seems like this is a real issue because we just did the triage. Is it a good first issue? I don't even know what the right solution is.
You could do what I described.
Yes, I'm pretending I didn't hear that. All right.
It is a good first issue. I get stuck for a long time.
Oh. V6 only cluster, and that cluster, one of the cloud provider, your load balancer with external IP, so can IPv4 address. Yes.
Would this get deferred when dual stack happens?
Yes. Didn't we go through a pain like two releases ago where we filtered out all the v6 addresses from v4 mode? Who was doing that? Was it Zihong again? I think it was.
Oh, right.
You remember
That's
this
right.
issue?
That's yes. That's right. Because it crashed it, I think.
Okay, so we don't need triage on this. This seems like it's legit. And at the very least, logging. Oh, and Christopher already signed himself to it. Nice. Stateful set, pod, connect, service, slow. There's something weird here. Can I get a volunteer to follow up with the reporter? I'm almost certain that this will be a support request, not an issue, but a little bit of follow-up is probably appropriate. Somebody I haven't heard from yet?
Okay, I'll take this one.
Mike, my hero. Thank you. Are you not an org member, Mike? Why don't we fix that?
I thought I was, but maybe not.
I just became an org member, and it's substantially easier to do things now.
How do I know whether I'm an org member?
You are. Sorry, I was typing your name wrong. I can tell if you're an org member or not because I can or cannot assign you an issue. Pod container port does not match service target port. That application still works properly.
Hey, that's not a bug.
What?
This is one of my new favorite issues.
Because the application is also listening on.
I mean, yeah, it sure sounds like the application's listening on the other port. Is somebody responding here? Oh, yeah. Is working as intended. You asked it to forward to 40,000, and it did. DNS conformance test case non-determinism.
Yes, I was looking at this one. I will take it. This one, I think at the end, he resolved everything. There's just a small question. I think I would be with Sandeep. I should be able to reply.
Are you not an org member, Francois?
No, maybe not.
Talk to Valerie. Get that fixed.
You can assign it to Sandeep.
Or Sandeep, yes, if you want.
Already scrolled down. Seriously, it's really just like one PR and a couple of people to say yes, they agree. Several Klog flags are not recognized by kubeproxy.
Is that going to be fixed by the component thing you were talking about earlier?
Yes, but the component thing will not happen for free.
Got it.
So I'm going to just mark this as triage. So it's true. I think case will. Session affinity config NQ service and update service handler.
It's like a PR, I think.
Oh, it's just an issue open to hold a PR?
Is that, yeah.
Service. Okay. It doesn't say it fixes. I'm just going to go ahead and close the issue and leave the PR open, and I'll assign myself the PR. Cool. Hey, we're done. We made it through 50 triage issues today.
With 1 minute to spare.
With minutes to spare. I mean, I could load up a third page if people.
Quick, do it.
Disconnect.
We're done.
We're done. Excellent. Thank you guys and everybody very much. I super appreciate it. Let's reload and see what the query count comes up to now. Oh, it's 245. It was at 254 before, so we net closed 9 and we assigned felt like 20 or 30, right? Awesome. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.
See you all next time.